I figured out why they was like with the mental torture and the little harassing thing going on. Well, not everything. They haven't harassed me yet here in South Korea. Notice I said yet because that's probably still coming. Um, but so far it's just been all mental torture, and I think that what it had one little incident where I was sitting outside by the wall, had a little chill spot, and they started hovering up around there. They came out of nowhere, like all these like Korean people just came out of nowhere and started whispering amongst each other. So I get up and approach them. I'm like, yo, what's the problem? It was like, oh, you can't sit there. Just go back inside. So I'm like, all right, cool. And I stayed outside for a little minute, got a little fresh air or whatever. Come back inside. Um, but for the most part, uh, it's been all mental here. And the thing I noticed, same thing back home in the U.S. when it first happened, when it first kicked off. All right, so just to give y'all a little history, all of this government united shit bullshit, all this shit started in South Florida. I witnessed it 20 years ago. All right. For some reason, when they first came out, uh, after they took over South Florida, it was like this. In every city, someone mysteriously died. In 7 cities. All right. Um, and with all that bullshit I've been through in South Florida, all that blah blah blah, the mental torture and harassment in South Florida, which eventually ran me out after technically because I'm from there my whole life, born and raised, but and so after all the murders of my family members and all that crazy stuff, you know what I'm saying, more harassment, I finally decided I had enough, and so when I moved to Northwest Florida, I lived there peacefully. I'm trying to think. I've been pulled over by the police one time in Northwest Florida when I moved there, and that's because I was driving too slow. And because I was so in love with the city in my new neighborhood, I just wanted to take my time and drive through my city and soak it all in. Like, damn, I can't believe this. I just came from this to this. And then the police stopped me and I explained to him. And he was like, all right, man, but you can't drive, that slow. You gotta, this is, you gotta. I'm like, all right, sir, he didn't give me a ticket or nothing. That's the only incident I had. And then I was talking to this female one night. Um, and me and her were stopping talking. Then the police came out of nowhere, and he pulled up, got out of his truck. His car, and just folded his hands like this, and just stood there like this, watching me. He didn't say nothing to me or nothing. It was late night too. Me and the little female. I guess it was a warning to the female. Basically, look, bitch, if you get this nigga your number, we gonna kill you. You feel me? I'm just saying. And so the female saw that, she got spooked and she left. I was trying to get her number. But so she left. And then that's before I realized that when I was living in South Florida, I was getting a lot of sex uh, from females, whatever, but I was always broke. I couldn't have my own place, and I had to deal with extreme mental torture. I was being mentally tortured really bad to the extreme on all levels. But that's why they was allowing me to have sex because, I guess they was doing some kind of experiment. I don't know. And so when I moved to Northwest Florida, there was no mental torture at all. At least not so obvious that I've noticed because I haven't noticed none. It was just extreme peaceful. But I had to suffer from extreme loneliness. They wouldn't allow me to have a relationship uh, put it like this. I lived in that place for 4 or 5 years total, and I didn't have not one woman to share that place with me. Not one female girlfriend. You know, a couple one night stands at here and there from like bitches that they've already fucked up or something, like that. But not a normal uh, female. And so I caught on to it. I'm like, okay, but I was allowed to work, save my money, and do things like that. Just no female to share it with. But I can share it with my then only friends that I had there, which was old and white guys. You know what I'm saying? And those guys had very bad drug habits. So I'm like, oh, okay. So they was using that spot to turn me to a drug head. That's basically why they took away my sex there. Didn't allow me to have a woman because they realized if he had a woman, that's something to fight for. And then if he had a woman, it'll get in the way of his friend that we put there for him. And his friend wouldn't be able to turn him out to a drug head because he had a woman. She'll be getting in the way of that. And so therefore they kept all women away from me and kept me around my two old white friends, which was 70 and 65. And they had serious drug habits. And so when they realized that didn't work, once I had enough of that, because really me and my old white friends, we was real, and I would consider us real close. We was cool, but I never really trusted the younger one because he was wild, but he was still my boy. Like I really fucked with him 100. We did a lot of fun shit together, but I just didn't. I had to always keep an eye on him. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. But I really did love him as a real friend, but I just never really trusted him fully 100 because it's something about him that was just I just had to keep an eye on him. You feel me? Because he was too much of a live wire, but he really had fun. And so, and he's still my boy and everything because I learned him. I learned that, you have to watch him and stuff. Other than that, you be really cool. You feel me? But so, I noticed with him, everything would be all right because I'm around him. Now, when we was living in the shelter together, he pretended to be this guy that don't do drugs. He just only smoked cigarettes. He gave up that life. But once he got his own place and I got my own place and we started clicking up and being good friends together, he started doing all kind of drugs in front of me. So he would only do the drugs in front of me where I can see him. Versus in the shelter, when we was just about to graduate, he was hiding from me doing them with the other boys. But then once he got his own place, he started openly doing it in front of me. So I realized I caught on. I'm like, okay, they must be paying him to try to turn me to a drug head. And so what I did was immediately started preparing for all the consequences for when they know that he don't have a chance, right? So I know they was gonna come at me hard. That's what I started doing, but I still was being his little friend because I already knew now what they put him there for. So I say to myself, when these motherfuckers found out that this person don't have a chance, they're gonna be pissed off, and so I got to prepare myself for that. So I started doing that. Um, every day he come get me or I come to his house. When his car didn't work, I used to take him to all his doctor's appointments. Every day he would sit up there and crush up some pills and shit like that and sniff it in front of me. He wanted me to see him sniff. Every drug that he did, he wanted me to see it. He didn't do it without me seeing it. So it's the same way of when you program um, younger people or anybody. If you have a commercial of smoking and making it look good, you could have a billion people want to smoke because they saw you smoking looking good. You feel me? Some people not mentally strong like that in that aspect. Some people want to do what make you look cool, what they see others do. Same thing with like kids and shit. When they see their parents doing something, they want to grow up and do it. Or when they look at TV and they see something on TV, they want it. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing like that with adults. So they figure they can come, they can teach him how to influence me. All the while, he ignored all my warnings. Every warning I sent his way, that motherfucker ignored the shit out of them like they didn't even exist. So I said, okay, now it's gonna come a time where all right, I'm gonna test you and see if you've been listening because I'm gonna take action, man, because I've been warning you. And so he didn't listen. So he kept trying. All his attempts failed, every single last one of them. And so I said, okay, now I'm gonna take action. I'm gonna show them. Stop playing with me, man. You don't have a shot in hell. I'm finna shut this man down today. And he was my real good friend. I'm telling you, I love him like a real friend, y'all. I mean, he was really cool, but I know he was sent to me, you know. And when they send somebody to you, it's for a reason. They're gonna either turn you to a crackhead, a prostitute, a drunk, a drug, something. You feel me? So I knew that's what they was using him for. Because in South Florida, I had all the sex, but I had the mental torture. No money. I had to live with family. Always broke, always dealing with extreme amount of mental torture through you name it. When I escaped that environment, I had extreme peace. So okay, I got extreme peace, so the motherfucker's up to something. So I prepared myself for that. Boom, I met him. He came to me as this peaceful little friend. We got so many memories together. If y'all would have saw my old Facebook page and my old YouTube channel before they took it down, you'll see I had a lot of memories. We was going out barbecuing all the time. Like he did more shit uh, with me and for me than my own fathers did. I mean, for real, for real. He was in my life like that. I started calling him pops and everything, but I never trusted him 100. That's one thing I never ever did. Never ever trusted him 100. But I called him pops and all that shit. We ate out a lot together. If he didn't have it, I paid for his food. If I didn't have it, he paid for my food. It was cool like that. But I never trusted him. And then once I shut him down, then they got so pissed off. That's when I had to flee my apartment because they started planning to kill me. Then, right? I lose my wallet. They sent him over to ask me to go thrift shopping, knowing that they got my wallet. So I played a little dumb game and got in the car, went looking for my wallet and everything. Didn't even find it. It was right there by my house the whole time, but when I came back, it wasn't there, right? So I just said, nah, man, I'm good. And I told him straight up, hey, look, man, this ain't gonna work. So I ended our friendship right there, right? I'm testing him. I saw him at Walmart one time. After that, he looked like he was about to cry, like, man, we shouldn't end our friendship over something like that, you feel me? So he was like wanting to be my friend again. And then when he found out that I was serious, okay, he left. He tried to give me a ride home. I was like, nah, I stayed and called the Uber to my crib. You feel me? When I went to get to my crib, immediately they started setting up what I thought they started setting up to kill me, planning to kill me. I got this video I'm gonna look for, basically me explaining and showing y'all the distance that I had to go to just to throw my trash out alone. I'm gonna try to upload that video next, but so y'all can see what I'm saying. But anyway, um, so after that, uh, once I feel like that they was trying to like set up to kill me and everything and all this shit, I just got up out of there. So now let's talk about me being mentally tortured in Hong Kong, China, here in Seoul, South Korea. Um, Let me see, Manila, Philippines, also, but not so much because Manila was finna get straight to the action. They had like 8, 9 dudes in there and they claimed they was from a place, I think New Delhi or something like that. But they said they was going to Brazil. When we was back there in that little waiting room just waiting, they started doing little slick shit, shit that provoking stuff that will provoke me to engage with words or maybe even action towards them so then they can respond. And that ended up going okay though. Then when I get on the other side of Manila, the city side, which allowed me to go outside and explore the city a little bit, since I had such a bad vibe there, just like I'm having here, I didn't even want to go and explore the city, just like I don't even want to go and explore the city here. So um, I stayed in the back. So by me, I mean, even when I went in the front, I just got something to eat and I started chilling. The only thing they did is I still hear the same kind of shoes here. You know when women wear fucking shoes that when they walk on the ground they sound like horses? Well, here the men have those shoes here too. In the Philippines, the men don't wear those kind of shoes that clop like girl shoes. But here they have it. But so they just kept sending these women over and over by the Cathy specific door in the Philippines. So if you go to the Philippines, you go to Manila. Once you get the transfer, you know where the Cathy specific section at. There's this one door where Cathy specific plane go at, and all of the women. Once I sat there and charged my phone, for some reason, all of the women, just like a magnet, was walking right to Cathy specific, and over again, you hear those shoes when they walk and it sound like horses galloping. Clunk, 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 clunk. That's about it. That was the only like mental torture that they did there, and it really wasn't all that bad because I could have blocked that shit out of my head. I had my phone, and there's plenty of other places I can get up and go inside the airport. Yeah, they will start figuring out a way to start the mental torture there as well if I stay there long enough. But I didn't. I got up and moved further down once my phone charged, and that put an end to that. You know, once I had enough of it, but then they started putting people right around the corner. They peeked around the corner to look at me and was like, "Yeah, he right there." You know, all this shit like that. And so here, when I got to Guam, let me see. Guam, the United States territory of Guam, they didn't do any uh, mental torture at all. There was no mental torture. They were very welcoming, but uh, they tried. One of the boys on the island tried me. When I went to check in the shelter, he pulled this little tree stump back, wanted me to sit down on it. Just I guess trying to be a gentleman, or maybe he did it on purpose. And when he pulled it out, there was a bunch of ants just crawling all over it, and I know he had to see it. And he was like wanting me to sit on it. I was like, nah, man, ain't sitting on that. All them ants is right there. So he was like, oh, okay. So, but once I got back to the airport, I thought, damn, because I had walked there from the airport and then walked back to the airport. So I thought, okay, that must be the kid that I have to fight if I chose to stay in that shelter, or maybe the kid killed me or whatever. However, you never know what can happen in a fight, um, and what can lead after what a fight can lead to after the fight. You feel me? Bang bang, shooting all that shit, and so then I thought, oh, okay, that's basically it. Could have been his way of saying, look, nigga, if you don't want any problems with me, you sit your ass in these ants right now, and you won't have to worry about me. So if I was the cower to him and sit in the answers, then I won't have to worry about him because he already punked me. But since I chose to stand my ground and not sit in the answers, now if I if I check in the shelter, that dude, that's the dude I'm gonna have a problem with. You feel me? And I could see it, but I had already started preparing for it right then and there. He ain't having a clue, but I'm not trying to hurt nobody. Nothing. It's just that I had already started preparing for him. And so, but mentally though, so, but I ended up having to leave because they ran me out of the airport after like 7 days, and then the shelter guy came. He was like, I don't know why they tripping on you because they just had a couple dudes. They know we just got hit with a typhoon. They just had a couple dudes literally living in this airport for about 3 months, and they tripping on you after 7 days. I was like, yeah, well, you know, don't worry about it. It's okay. I think I understand. I think I know who's doing this. You know what I'm saying? He's like, all right, man. But he gave me this like military packet, and I had a bunch of food, and I was like, some of it was okay, but most of it was nasty as fuck. Especially the beans. I was like, damn, I feel sorry for the U.S. military soldiers if they just eating this shit all day long on missions. God damn. You know what I'm saying? And so, but after that, the only thing they really did uh, to me at the Guam airport was just watch me strange. They had like some of these niggas and white boys come in, and they'd just sit on the other side and stare at me all day and night, monitoring everything I'm doing. That's it. But they didn't, as far as like mentally torturing me or nothing like that, they did not do any of that. And that's just the God honest truth. They didn't. But I did have a eerie, weird feeling about one. It just didn't feel. Oh, and they lied to me, and they fucked with me one time. I walked to the McDonald's. I ordered something to eat. Enjoyed my meal. Came back. Enjoyed my meal. Had a good time. But the second time, I tried to walk down to the McDonald's because it was actually cheaper than the junk food that I was eating in the airport. So I take a chance at McDonald's. So I go down to McDonald's, or just about, yeah, maybe a little cheaper. Once I get to the McDonald's, the guy closes. He tells me that it's closed to the public only, drive through only, because I didn't have a car. He said because they had just opened up from the storm. Now he don't know that I just caught him in a lie, because he don't know I just came to the McDonald's before his ass showed up there. I just went there yesterday and he wasn't even working there. You know what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden I go there today, he's working there, and now he's telling me it's closed, it's open only for drive through because because they just opened up from the typhoon. No, you didn't just open up. You lying your ass off. But I ain't say nothing. I just said, okay, and walked away. You know what I'm saying? But in the back of my mind, I'm like, you telling a fucking lie. You didn't just open up, because I came here yesterday at the same time and you wasn't even here. So now all of a sudden I come here today, you telling me that it's closed to the public, only drive through only. What you want? You think I'm gonna be stupid enough to ask one of these people to buy me a meal, or get in the car with one of these people just so I can get a meal? Fuck that. So I went back. What the hell is that? Flying around in the camera. Y'all saw that? I can't even see it in person, but I saw it on the camera. Something flying around right in front of me that I can't even see it. The camera picked it up though. But anyway, so that was strange. Can't even see it in real life, but saw it on the camera. But so that was the only thing they did to me. Um, but I took those as red flags. Like when the guy wanted me to sit in the answers, when the guy turned me down, I walked to the McDonald's, had to walk all the way back. Um, I took that in as consideration. Then when the lady started basically asking me when I'm gonna leave because they got tired of seeing me coming up to the counter buying stuff. That's what it was. I think I was buying stuff too much, buying food because they had these little egg roll looking things that they sell you with vinegar. You dip them in vinegar. Those shits was good as fuck. They cost like $1 a piece, and I started buying so much from them. I think it just irritated the lady. So she was like, when you leaving, you know what I'm saying? Like, you still here? Like, you feel me? And then one of the guys started saying the same thing, yeah, man, you gotta leave because you can't stay here. They wanted me to go basically live out in the city and stuff. And it was like, hell nah, I just couldn't, because it was too expensive. The cell phone bill alone there, I was paying $25 for 7 days. And that don't come with unlimited everything. Just talk, text, and slow as web. Like 3G, 4G web, something like that. And that's it. Versus um, in Hong Kong, my cell phone bill was 12 US dollars. And it came with unlimited everything. Talk, text, web, hotspot, roaming, you name it. That shit was a hellified plan. And it had solid internet. But that's before the white people showed up at Hong Kong. I don't know if they was British, American, or Australian, or all of the above, and they just transformed the Hong Kong government. They got them on that aggressive shit, and they wasn't like that. But after that, so when I got to Saipan, um, they started with the harassment almost immediately. As soon as I came out of the airport, I mean, they was on it. They had people pretending. And another thing they do, they have these people pretend like they cleaning everywhere I'm at. If I open this door right now, but my internet will mess up, it'll get disconnected. That's why I got to sit in here. If I open this bathroom door right now and show y'all, they got a cleaning stand right there, right outside the door. So they do this on purpose. Everywhere I go, they have these people pretending like they cleaning. Only when I get there. They don't clean before I get there. They wait till I get to a spot and they start cleaning. I guess it's letting me know, basically when we kill this nigga, you know what I'm saying, clean up everything, it's not gonna be no trace of him that he was ever here or whatever. So I guess that's why they cleaning up every spot I'm at. Every spot they see me, they come right there, they start cleaning it up immediately. Uh, and they do that in Hong Kong. That's the only place I know where they was doing that. Normally, that's just how Hong Kong is. When I got there, I was like, damn, it's people that's cleaning the restrooms while you using the restrooms, and they do it. They old people. That's their job. As soon as you come out of the bathroom, they cleaning it. Sometimes they clean it. They trying to clean it even while you in the bathroom. You feel me? That's just how they is. They all in there. It's like 20 Chinese people in there, and they all just cleaning up. Not all of them. I mean, while the people pissing and shit and shitting and whatever, you got the old Chinese people in there cleaning up while they doing it immediately. But so that they got on it immediately. The police give me a ride to the beach. Me and him chopped it up a little bit. He was a different officer from the officer that approached me and said, "Listen, man, I don't know why they want me to harass you, but man, they want me to harass you, man. They telling me to tell you you can't even sit here, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why they doing it to you like that." And so I told him, "Don't worry, I think I know who it is." You know what I'm saying? He was like, "Yeah, man." And me and him started talking, but you know, so Saipan, which is Mariana Islands, the Northern Mariana Islands, they basically jumped on the harassment immediately. And another thing, so that's why I went back to Hong Kong because at that time, Hong Kong, the harassment really wasn't all that bad. It was only in the airport. At that time, the airport, that's the only place I've noticed something wrong with these airports around the world out of the countries I've been to. It's like they got some kind of secret shit going on. I don't know. because, and now they're at Hong Kong airport. But when you go into the city, you good. You don't have to worry about nothing. But when you go to the airport, it's like they have these secret agents there, whoever they are, military forces or whatever they are, secret forces that will fuck with you if you stay there too long. They come at you, and the the vibe and the poison, the feeling that they bring is so strong, you don't even want to go out into the city. And that's how they was doing me in Hong Kong. But whenever I go into the city, I'm good. Um, they have certain people in Hong Kong because I've been there long enough that where they try to fuck with me in the city, but I just move out of the way and keep going. Like they'll try to walk across my path or something like that. But other than that, I just keep going. And so it was mainly really at the airport, not even at the park. I go to the park, I have a good time, and there's 80 of them motherfuckers there, and they never fuck with me at the park until they sent that one boy to fight me, and that man to fight me, and me and that man was in there fighting or whatever. Um, and that's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? As far as Hong Kong go, but the government was getting aggressive, and it sounded like I started to understand them a little bit too much, and they want some other shit like kidnapping a nigga to send the United States a message and all that shit. But here's what I say: I like to say this: out of the mental torture that I've taken um, since I left my house in my apartment in Northwest Florida, where they only started the mental torture just a little bit just before I moved, and that's when if you look on my YouTube channel, you see where they created the leaks inside my apartment, where they had some guys come in there and purposely drill a hole in the apartment upstairs and create a leak in my apartment downstairs to give them the right to come inside my apartment because I stopped going to work at that time to monitor them because I noticed every time I go to work they break inside my apartment and do some shit they ain't got no business doing. And so I started staying home. And I stayed home so long, it just pissed them off. So they needed a way to come inside. So they created a leak. And then so they can come inside to fix the leak that they created, basically. So they can get a look around my apartment and see what I'm doing, all this dumb shit. Um, and that was in my new apartment. And so after having enough of the head games, I left there. But so I figured it out. After being, let me see, after being fucked with, I'm gonna say, well, I consider if they fucking with you, that's mental. They fucking with your mental, so I consider that mental torture. So we'll say, after being mental tortured in Guam, really not that bad. It was probably the least mental torture out of all the airports, if I'm being honest. And Saipan, well, let me see. Let me think about Saipan. Saipan Airport really, yeah, they sent one police in there, and I was sitting in the corner minding my business, just charging my phone. And he was like, "Hey man, you gotta get up from here, man. Come on, we take you over there where you can go and charge your phone over there." He wanted me to move closer to the people that I had got away from, because they had these women sitting down, and you know how women is. They want to get on the phone and talk about women shit or whatever, and then create these little laughs and shit. I don't want to listen to no fucking females laughing and shit. So I moved from them, go all the way to the end where I was just in my own little zone, away from everybody, and he moved me back from there, back to where the women was that was sitting down laughing. So that I would consider that as one. But other than that, that was probably, let me see. Yeah, and when I sat in the bathroom too long, I flushed them out. They came in there. They came in there basically. So if I would have stayed in there long like how I do here, they would have started slamming doors and doing all that shit there too. So I would say after Saipan, um, Saipan was probably the airport of Saipan was probably the least one to harass me because I had already endured all that other harassment at all these other airports to the point where I already knew what would happen if I implement the same tactics that I did at the other airports with this airport. So that's the reason why they was the least ones that harassed me. But they no oh no because when I was outside the airport on my phone, they sent the police. The police was like, "Oh, you can't stand over here. You gotta stand over there." Blah blah blah. So I stand over there. And then they sent another police to say, hey man, I don't know why they, yeah, so that counts. My fault, y'all. I'm only thinking inside the airport. Uh, so Saipan takes the cake over Guam because Guam didn't send nobody. Once I got outside the airport, they didn't. Let me see. They didn't send no police to harass me, nobody to fuck with me at all until I got to the shelter. And then once I came back on the seventh day, they started. No, the fifth day. That's when the lady was like, "Dang, you've been here like a week." I'm like, "Lady, it's only been like 5 days." You know what I'm saying? But I ain't tell her that, because she got tired of me buying stuff from the counter shop, I guess. But so after being mentally tortured and harassed in Guam, Saipan, the Mariana Islands, um, Hong Kong, China, here in Seoul, South Korea. Am I leaving somewhere out? Oh, Manila, Philippines. I think I figured out what they basically saying. In other words, okay, remember when I told y'all all this crazy stuff started in South Florida? Before all this government shit started going on, wars and all these rumors of wars, all this crazy shit started 20 years ago in South Florida, and I witnessed it when mysteriously somebody that I know and other people just started dying in seven cities in the state of South Florida. You feel me? So I'm like, okay, it's like they were starting this new gang, and they started it up in South Florida, and now it's here in South Korea, everywhere. All right, so with that being said, but I don't want to talk too long on that because then that'll be a whole another 30, 40 minutes if I take my time and explain when they first came to South Florida, if I explain that. So, but I'm gonna skip all that. And so after all that, I think what they're doing is basically sending the United States a message saying, "Hey man, we don't give a fuck about this nigga. You feel me? Look, man, we torturing this nigga too. We making him post us on his YouTube channel too. You feel me? So all this is probably letting my country know, or whoever it is that's from my country that's targeting me, basically, if or when they let me return back to the U.S., that nigga's all yours. You can do whatever you want with him. You can kill him. You can torture this nigga. Look, we doing it. You feel me? So it's basically saying, if y'all fall, we fall. We all fall together. And that's not gonna happen. You get what I'm saying? So, and the same thing, uh, the reason why I said when they first started it up in South Florida, where every city took turn killing somebody, right? So in other words, if one city go down, the whole city, all these cities going down in South Florida, and that's not gonna happen. So now it's bigger than citywide. Now it's worldwide now. So all the countries, what threw me off is I would expect that with countries that's cool with my country because they allies. So of course, if you're gonna leave your country and you're getting harassed um, in your own country by your own government or whoever in your country, then when you go to your country's allies, obvious they're gonna do it too. Um, but so the lesson I had to learn was I didn't know it was gonna be a foreign country who so-called don't like my country would do the same thing. But so that's why I want to let y'all know, don't you might not want to go to um, your country's enemy because they may kill you to send your country a message because they may think you a spy or they may think you or just to torture you, harass you, kidnap you, keep you for ransom or something because they're beefing with your country. So you might not want to go that route unless you absolutely feel like your life's in danger and you just need to do something now to save your life. Otherwise, you ain't gonna have no life. Then yeah, I say go for it because when that other country captures you, they're not gonna kill you right away. So if your country gonna kill you right away and you sure of it, or if you feel like you sure of it, then you get out and you go to that country. Then when they capture you, whatever they do to you, or harass you, or whatever, at least you're gonna live. You feel me? You ain't gonna be dead. Versus if you stand in your country, you're gonna be dead. So I wouldn't recommend you go to a foreign country that's so-called beefing with your country unless you absolutely feel like your life is really in danger. You're really gonna die. Because once you get to that new country, you'll be fine. You should be fine for at least a couple months. And then when your country put them eyes on you out there, then they would have to pay for that country to torture you or whatever it is. Then you at least you'll be alive versus like how I felt. You feel me? I truly, honestly believe if I wouldn't, if I would have still been in the state of Florida, in my country, I wouldn't be alive right now making this live. I think they would. That's how quick I think they were moving in to kill me because I had ended the friendship with my old white friend, and he didn't have a shot. I made it very clear to them that he didn't have a shot to turn me to a crackhead, to a drug head. So once they realized that, then they was like, man, fuck this, kill this nigga, man, because he, I'm giving them a hard time. They don't play their own game fair. When you start beating them at their own game, they're gonna cheat. They're gonna take you out. And so that's what they were moving to do. So that's why I flee. But so I say all that to say this. I think these countries are basically letting the United States know that once I get back, they don't give a fuck what they do to me. They can kill me or whatever because, in other words, man, we torturing this nigga right now. So if you go down, we go down. We all going down. Shit, we got Hong Kong, China in this bitch. They torturing them. We got Saipan in this bitch. They torturing them. We got Guam in this bitch. They torture them. We got Manila in this bitch. They torture them. And we got us in this bitch, South Korea. We torturing this nigga. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a gang thing, a low key racist gang thing. You know what I'm saying? All white nations, white boys involved in this shit, so they just feeling themselves. You know what I'm saying? Even that, I mean, I say white, but it's a mixed culture of Chinese, Korean, and Filipino and American, but they all like ran by, you know. And so that's what I think the ultimate message was for them to send to each other, basically when or if whatever it is, when they send me back or when they let me go back or when I get back to the U.S., basically telling the United States, man, you can do whatever you want to do with this nigga. Don't even worry about it. We on your side, so he ain't got no hope. He basically, um, you could do whatever you want to do with this nigga. You can kill him. You can torture him up some more. He's all yours because we doing it to him. You know what I'm saying? So now they will form this pact instead of locking each other up and taking each other down or trying to beef with each other over me. They use me to unite. Basically, they unite behind me, which threw me off because in the media you hear all this talk about China and the United States going to war. They publicly saying this shit though. They publicly putting out in the air that they are gonna go to war against each other in the future. What? First of all, why would you tell somebody you're gonna go to war with them? Give them enough time to prepare for your ass for when you do go to war. That's stupid as hell. And then, but so I'm thinking about all this, right? And I'm thinking about how they on TV they talk so tough about how they're going to war, but all the while they torturing me. They teamed up together to torture me. You motherfuckers are united through me. But on TV they pretending like they beefing with each other, right? So, and in my mind, traveling through China and being there, I'm seeing all these Americans, all these white Americans, some of them homeless or look homeless in China and shit like that, with American shirts on and all this shit. And then I'm looking at the squad they got there, at the American people that I met there and all this shit. Like, hold on, what the fuck? This must be a planned war then. Because you got motherfuckers from our country helping you, teaching you, training you all. I'm talking about giving you technology. I mean, helping you, like building you up just to go to war against their own country. How was that possible? So I thought this shit was just a bunch of fucking bullshit. Waste of time. It's all stupid. I don't know what the fuck they doing. So just to be honest with y'all, I don't know, y'all. I think the war that they're planning with China is maybe designed to target us as black people as a race, or I don't know, man. It's just suspicious because they were united in torturing me mentally and sometimes physically, but they talk on the news like they're really against each other. You know what I'm saying? They talk like they really beefing with each other on the news. Like, okay, if y'all got all this power, who the fuck y'all hiding for? Why are y'all fucking lying? Why are you capping to the public about each other when y'all fucking buddies? At least y'all buddies and torturing me And you know, what the fuck's up with that? I don't know, y'all. Man, we got, I don't know, I feel sorry for us back home in the United States, man. I'm telling y'all, something up, man. Something up. Something is up and it's not right. A lot of this shit is planned. And I'm letting you know through experience. And I'm not a motherfucker just running my mouth. And I loved Hong Kong. I really did. And to be honest, I'm glad my government or whoever, whatever, whoever that was involved with teaching these people, training them how to fuck with a nigga, teaching them American style government tactics, federal tactics at that, to come and run me out of the city because now, you know, everything happened for a reason. Because I wouldn't have came back from Hong Kong. That's how much I loved that place. I'm serious. I really loved that place. Man, I wouldn't have came back. I didn't want to come back. Shit, fuck it. But I'm glad that my government or whoever it was went into Hong Kong and made some deals in Hong Kong, whoever allowed them to team up and target me there and torture me there. I'm glad that happened because it woke me up and now I'm back out. But I want to tell y'all, man, some shit going down and it don't seem right, man. I'm telling you, it don't seem right. Because they in the news capping like they finna go to war against each other and they hate each other. But these motherfuckers was united like a motherfucker and torturing me mentally and doing shit to me. You feel me? And so I don't know, y'all. I'm telling you. I think, boy, I want to. I'm gonna leave that alone. But listen, I say that to say this. I think that that's the message that I think they're sending now is basically through me and saying, basically just letting each other know, hey, listen, man, when this nigga get back to the U.S., you can do whatever. You feel me? You can, you know, we torturing this nigga right now. And I've already been tortured mentally and sometimes physically for 20 years in my home country. 20 years, y'all. You know how long that is? 20 fucking years. And then when I go to get a break, you know, and well, let me say this 20 years and counting means and still to this day. I'm being mentally tortured and harassed here in South. Well, not harassed yet, just mentally tortured here in South Korea so far. But I can flush them out. I can make them harass me by doing what I'm doing right now. Just staying away from all of them, not talking to them, being in my own little world. That's gonna draw the devil and his demons more. What he doing? Why he don't ever want to sit in the public? You know, why this? Why that? Why that? When they start asking them questions, they're gonna come at you with the harassment. And so it's just mentally tortured here so far, mentally tortured in Hong Kong, China, mentally tortured in Saipan, mentally tortured in Guam, mentally tortured in the Philippines. But remember, Guam, Saipan, Philippines was not a lot of mental torture, just a little bit because I didn't stay there that long and because I, uh, I guess because I got away from the areas that they was mentally torturing me and then they haven't already set up other areas. Um, But Hong Kong, they stuck it to my ass really good with the mental torture, with the full on mental torture and harassment, using everything in their disposal. They brought it to me, man. And there was even, I forgot to tell y'all, and in Hong Kong, as I was leaving after my ticket was already paid for to come here, they had this Arab squad. Now Hong Kong, I'm telling you, they got a lot of different squads there, man. They ain't fucking around, man. I mean, now it's amazing how them white people transformed them people so quick, yo. Man, them people was scary and minding their business and nice, and now they fucking dogs, man. It's crazy. And so they had this Arab squad. They came in the bathroom one day, and like I told y'all, when I pay attention to them, I can understand them. Listen, I don't know if y'all can hear that, but that's them walking with them girl shoes again. They coming in the bathroom. They listening to me and everything now. But what I'm saying is, when I pay attention to them, and if I focus, I can understand them, the communication with sound. I can understand them using traffic or whatever sound that they're communicating about. If I hone in on it, I can understand what they're saying, or at least I think I can. And at least I think I know what they be saying when I'm listening. But I don't always listen. I'm in my own fucking world 90% of the time. You know what I'm saying? The 10% that they do get my attention, that I do listen to them sometimes, I can hear them. But most of the time, I ain't worried about they fuck ass, man. And so I said it to say this. The guy comes into the bathroom it was a Chinese guy in there, his suit, and the Arab guy come in there and say, "Can we kill him?" The Chinese guy said, "No, he too big. He too big. No, they know he's gonna. They know he's gonna be in South Korea." So I'm like, "What the fuck?" So, and he don't know that I can understand this. I'm looking at him like, "Nigga, I'll whoop your ass in here right now. Fuck wrong with you?" Like, boy, you fuck wrong with you? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm standing right behind him. I'm listening to him. He asking the Chinese guy, uh, "Can he kill me?" He like, "Can we kill him?" He said, the Chinese man said, "Nah, he too big." I swear to God, y'all. Right in the bathroom, um, just 2 days before, was it 2 days? No, just one day before my flight to come here to South Korea. God honest truth, the Arab guy, he was a bald Arab guy, he was little, he was an older guy, really, maybe like 50, 60 years old, I don't know, maybe not even 60, maybe like 50, 50 something. And he was like this big with a bald head. He come in there with a little suit. He looked like a killer though. He looked like one of the guys, like a hitman. You feel me? Like a guy they would pay to come snuff your ass out. Shoot the shit at you or something. But he come in there and he was like, "Can we kill him?" And the Chinese man said, "Nah, he's too big." I'm like, "What the fuck?" Meaning that I'm too big for them to just kill like that because everybody knew where I was. I guess I don't know, but so that's strange. And then it sounded like they were saying, "Before I leave, nigga, you think you leaving? You ain't going back to the United States. You might as well cancel that trip. This is the CCP." This is what it sounded like they were saying. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking to myself, all right, well, whatever. We're gonna see. And so they was like trying to communicate to me when I catch on to it. This is what it sounded like they were saying. You ain't going back to the U.S. You know what I'm saying? You can cancel that. We taking you to China or whatever. It was all kind of stuff. It sounded like they were saying when I went on in and what they were saying, um, using sound. But most of the time I didn't. But I'm 100% sure that's what it. Well, let me not say 100. I'm about 90% sure that's what that man said to the Chinese man, the Arab guy, when he came in there. He said, "Can we kill him?" The Chinese man said, "Nah, he's too big. Let him go." And that's what he was saying. I'm like, what the fuck? But it's it's weird to me because they wait to come in front of me and talk like that. They don't talk behind my back or when I'm outside. When I'm in there, they do that shit when I'm in there. Just like here in South Korea. When I'm in a place, then they want to come in a place and start communicating. So I think it's something up with that. Like that shit only tell me that maybe this shit is not really all that real because they would do most of the real talking when I'm not around, not while I'm there because they don't know if I can understand it or not. So the fact that they actually got the balls enough to say all this shit in front of me, it tells me that I don't know. It's just weird. But I'm gonna end this video. Catch y'all in the next video. Stay safe. I just wanted to let y'all know. I didn't even expect this video to be all that long, y'all. Sorry about that, but I just want to come back on and let y'all know. Like I think the real reason why they all teaming up to torture me like that is to also send my country a message. Basically, hey man, when this nigga get back, we don't give a fuck. You can finish killing his family. You can kill him. We don't give a fuck because basically our relationship is more important than this nigga and his family. So you can kill them motherfuckers and then get on with it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think. So in other words, when I get back to the U.S., I could expect some horrible shit to happen, maybe to me and the rest of And so I'm just thinking that's probably why they're mentally torturing me here, and I've been mentally tortured around the rest of the world that I've traveled to. So I'm thinking they sending the U.S. a message basically saying, when I get back, man, do what you got to do, and it's gonna be for their own entertainment, because now all of these countries is gonna be united through me to watch me suffer and to watch them get over on me, like sending each other videos of me, because I'm being recorded in all of these places. They're recording me, taking pictures of me, all kind of shit in all of these places. So I'm thinking that when they rob me or murder me or whatever, however they're gonna come to me or wherever they're gonna do it at, they're gonna be sending each other the videos of it. You know what I'm saying? For their own pleasure, to make sure that the job has been done. So I don't know. That's my time. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Stay safe and peace out.